and she read it, and I forget, it's about like development though. Development. The y'all see that?
Both sides are bad, so what? Trans people.
LegalEagle slop. Hold on.
Like a frog boiling in its own water, America is slipping towards authoritarianism, and it may already be too late. If you've ever wondered, how could X country just let that happen? Well, congratulations. You're living in the answer. This isn't a could happen, it's happening. And contrary to popular belief, authoritarianism doesn't always arrive via dramatic military coup. Democracies can, and often do, slide into authoritarianism slowly, quietly, and procedurally. There are three obvious pillars of a slide towards authoritarianism: consolidation of force and suppression of dissent, undermining the rule of law and electoral guardrails, and patronages, purges, and the destruction of independent institutions. And in just the last few months, what have we seen? Tens of thousands of career civil servants purged from the government. Masked, unaccountable federal police deployed, answering only to Trump. An immigration crackdown escalating into effectively internment camps, torture sites, and secret renditions to war zones, ensnaring citizens and non-citizens alike. Thanks, Justice Kavanaugh. Political prosecutions of rivals, dissidents, and members of the opposition party. The destruction of the rule of law through mass pardons of his team and the shutting down of investigations into his allies. For example, the January 6th insurrectionists, corrupt Republican politicians, donors, and business associates. The invasion of blue cities and states by the National Guard and Marines.
I was talking to your mom, sorry. Imagine if at the end of this, he said, we need to lock him up. We need to lock him up. Just kidding. He would never do that. But
under the excuse of a manufactured peacetime emergency. Systematic demonization and othering of targeted groups. Immigrants and trans people blamed for every single societal problem. Ignoring court orders. Ignoring Congress by spending money that was never appropriated and refusing to spend money that was. Publicly flirting with an unconstitutional third term as president, like a coquettish little tyrant in waiting. What a scamp. Attacking, suing, and banning media outlets that dare to criticize him. And enriching himself to the tune of billions of dollars through his crypto empire, self-dealing with his own businesses, and selling access to the White House. This is the authoritarian trifecta: consolidating state power, undermining the rule of law, and unrestrained corruption. And we're not even a year into a 4-year term. If you saw this happening anywhere else in the world, you would call it the opening phase of a failed state. Political scientist Juan Linz identified 4 defining features of authoritarianism: limited political pluralism, constraints on legislatures, parties, and interest groups, legitimacy built on emotion, the leader as a necessary evil fighting societal decay, minimal political mobilization paired with the suppression of anti-regime activity, and vague, ever-expanding executive powers, undefined and shifting at will. And that describes America in 2025 with uncomfortable precision. Now, we recently released a video compiling all the crimes and corruption that Trump has committed so far, because frankly, there's been so much that even we, professional lawyers, we're starting to lose track. And I'm sure we still miss some. We made that video because normal people, even extremely intelligent ones, have a hard time grasping the full scope unless they are—
What's with the Cloudflare out on— I don't know, good question. Wait, what the fuck?
immersed in it every single day. I was at a wedding recently talking to a friend who is an incredibly intelligent, high-powered attorney. We were making conversation about what was going on in the world, and he asked why I was so worried about this country. And when I rattled off a partial list like the one you just heard, he was aghast. Because unless you're watching the news for several hours a day, it's just impossible to keep track. It's the Mr. Burns defense. Your average American might get some of these headlines, but I guarantee that the median American voter is not privy to half of this stuff. And the information economy is in shambles. Trump has spent the last 8 years preemptively accusing everyone else of corruption, so that when he does the very thing that he projected onto others, it lands softly. Oh, this is just politics as usual, or—
True.
Well, both sides are bad, so what?
True.
But this is not politics as usual. This is the playbook of authoritarianism. And
I said this and it might come out, I don't know how long it's gonna take that Israeli dude to compile the interview. It is very annoying that every time I talk to, I'd say like a normie, but not even a normie, like even like a relatively politically inclined person who's like kind of in the know about political stuff, when I start rattling stuff off, they don't know anything. They haven't heard of any of the things that I'm talking about. And I'm like, okay. Oh my God, not even close, guys.
Perhaps the most galling part is how little pushback there's been, even among people who are paying attention. You might remember 2015. Remember the right-wing conspiracy theory that President Obama was going to invade red states, Jade Helm 15? Well, that fever dream has essentially come—
Also, I'm assuming this is fake news. There's no way. Somebody tried to troll me, I think, in my DMs. Somebody said that yesterday Hutch was justifying that there might be some merit in giving Trump a pardon. There's no way. That was absolutely a troll, right? Hutch would never, ever do that, right?
True, except it wasn't Obama, it's actively Trump, and it's going on right now. And although Second Amendment tyranny resistors are suddenly mysteriously silent. Even worse, Trump and his surrogates now whine that simply calling their behavior authoritarianism itself is an incitement to violence, thus justifying further crackdowns. This is the logic of a wife beater. This is gaslighting on a national scale. And early in Trump's second term, we were asking, is this a constitutional crisis? Well, yeah, it was. But the constitutional crisis is over. We lost.
Yeah.
Trial courts have fought valiantly, but the Supreme Court has repeatedly abdicated its role and handed over unprecedented power to the president. Not any president, certainly not a Democratic president, but to one president, Donald Trump. The Supreme Court will not save us. And for reasons that I cannot fathom, they seem to welcome the turn towards authoritarianism. Now, I recognize that it hasn't been seamless. There has been plenty of buffoonery. Trump exists in such a dense bubble of misinformation that I think he truly believes everyone else is as corrupt as he is. And that delusion has led him to empower some of the most incompetent loyalists alive, Lindsey Halligan, Alina Habba, and Emil Bove, who have bungled his revenge fantasies. And some of their ham-fisted schemes have exploded in their faces. And certain institutions, especially lower courts and juries, have pushed back. But the terrifying part is this. Their corrupt plans might have worked if they weren't so dumb. And eventually, a more competent authoritarian will step in and finish what they started. As Professor Nicholas Grossman put it, in normal democracy terms, we're in bad shape and things are getting worse. In consolidated authoritarianism terms, we're doing pretty well as the regime is haphazard, meeting resistance, and growing increasingly unpopular. And I think he's absolutely right, but I'm not confident that that will still be true 3 years from now. And look, I don't think we're beyond salvation yet. We do still have a choice. But 3 years from now, a whole lot of these bastards are going to need to go to jail. There will be enormous political pressure to just move on and pretend like this never happened.
I still need to find a better way to use this. Wait, hold on. I misheard. Wait.
As Professor Nicholas Grossman put it, in normal democracy terms, we're in bad shape and things are getting worse. In consolidated authoritarianism terms, we're doing pretty well as the regime is haphazard, meeting resistance, and growing increasingly unpopular. And I think he's absolutely right, but I'm not confident that that will still be true 3 years from now. And look, I don't think we're beyond salvation yet. We do still have a choice. But 3 years from now, a whole lot of these bastards are going to need to go to jail. There will be enormous political pressure to just move on and pretend like this never happened, arguably like President Biden did after 2021. But authoritarianism...
Hey, whoever's writing this guy's script, fucking thank you. I feel like you got every single point in here. Hell yes.
...is like cancer. Ignore it and it spreads. Pretend it's gone and it comes back worse. And President Trump is a malignant tumor on this nation. Look, we no longer have a Republican Party and a Democratic Party. We have a democracy party and an authoritarian party.
True.
And unfortunately, electorally, there's not a lot we can do right now. But we still do have a choice. So keep pushing back. Keep protesting, keep recording, and keep talking. Yes, maybe it's time to bring politics back to the dinner table. A lot of people simply don't know the scope of what's happening because it's bad. But I believe there is still time. But just.
This is from Tiananmen Square specifically. I got a bunch of buttons. A bunch of Mao Zedong buttons. Our tour guide Sally said, the dream of 1.4 billion Chinese is to go and see the flag raising ceremony in Tiananmen Square. I got this one too. It's like a commemorative coin, 1966, 1967.
It's even in the like Topps trading card, like, you know,
yeah,
like status.
It's official, it's real. But the craziest stuff was actually the things that fans gave me. This one is a collection, a DVD collection of Mao Zedong songs. Look. And then a whole bunch of different, I bought this myself, but it's the tiniest.
They're very musical
red
people.
book I could find. There's even
The what?
The Chinese.
What about it?
They're very musical.
Oh, nice.
tinier ones.
I'm sure, man.
During the Cultural Revolution, I think it became like a competition almost to see like who
can make
to
it
show
smaller.
like to demonstrate their loyalty, who could make the smallest. Like this is truly a little red book, you know, the tiniest of them. I got this in an antique shop. Show Hongshu flexing, yeah, or Show Hongshu maxing, really. What is this? A red book for ants? Yeah, and then I got a copy, quotations from Chairman Mao Zedong, but in English. This is the English edition, first edition. Okay, in English from 1966, Foreign Language Press, Peking, 1966. First edition, 1966, printed in the People's Republic of China. It even has like the This is like very common. In all of the red books, you have like a wax paper in front of Mao Zedong's face in order to preserve it. This was gifted by Chatter, and it even has the first page removed. The Linbiao.
Oh my god! No revisionism allowed here.
I couldn't say. I was uncomfortable saying it, but like there's it still has the forward to the second edition of quotations from Chairman Mao Zedong, but the first page also has like Linbiao Linbiao statements that were initially removed because the claim is that he had betrayed the chairman and then he mysteriously died in a plane crash. And post-mortem, it was found out that he was betraying the chairman, but he was also seen as like the what's the word for it? The best comrade initially, and I
can't tell.
Brilliant tactician, from what I understand, a very good general, and he was very pro Mao Zedong, and the initial page that they ripped off is like, I forget what it was, but it basically says like it's even more aggressive than this. Comrade Mao Zedong is the greatest Marxist-Leninist of our era. He has inherited, defended, and developed Marxism-Leninism with genius, creatively and comprehensively, and has brought it to a higher and completely new stage. Mao Zedong's thought is Marxism-Leninism of an era in which imperialism is heading for total collapse and socialism is advancing for total worldwide victory. It is a powerful ideological weapon for opposing imperialism and for opposing revisionism and dogmatism.
Go full screen.
Oh, cute.
Anyway, yeah. He was also OP as fucking Dynasty Warriors 3. That's crazy.
That's insane.
Oh yeah, the first thing that he gets is study Chairman Mao's writing, follow his teachings, and act according to his instructions. And I think that was taken out initially because they thought that was too that was like far too like single great man focused than Marxist-Leninist thought was supposed to be. And then I have another 1966. This is the actual first edition, but this is in Chinese. But I'm not even gonna. This is like easy to break. This is also another. This is a Chinese first edition. I'm not even gonna open it. I'm not even gonna take it out of this thing. But you want to see the craziest one? Mm-hmm. So this is a little booklet commemorating the first ever Chinese designed and Chinese engineered bridge in Nanjing. Okay, and this I think is an incredibly rare historical artifact because that's Mao Zedong's writing.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's his signature and his handwriting, and it's written in like it's literally written in ink. Like it's not like a copied point of his like calligraphy or anything. A fan gave that to me when I was he intercepted the high-speed rail that I was on going to Shanghai from Beijing, and yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't know what it was initially. And then I was looking at it with a Chinese content creator who was doing my like Bilibili and Shouhongshu, Bilibili and Shouhongshu Q&As, and she read it, and I forget it's about like development though. Development. The fuck? Did y'all see that? Yeah, lights went in and out. That was weird. But it's super duper rare from what I understand.
Yeah, man.
We need to add colors, Jader,
yeah, I know.
at some point. Like a sub thing has to have colors on the side, but we'll figure it out.
And then yeah, we got an anti-imperialist book of songs.
Shut up.